All right, so we're diving deep into the world of Chelsea Handler.
Oh, Chelsea.
Yeah, you've given us
Oh, let's hear.
a lot to work with, awards shows, and a new book is coming out, and some pretty bold statements that she's been making.
Yeah.
So, sounds like we're going for the full Chelsea experience here.
The full Chelsea experience. And I think it's going to be a good one. I think she's somebody who really, enjoys pushing those boundaries, whether
Yeah.
it's, on stage or in print.
Well, and speaking of stage, she's going to be on a pretty big stage soon, right? The Critics' Choice Awards, the 30th annual, are coming up,
That's right. Yeah.
and this will be her third year hosting.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that says something right there, that they keep asking her back.
3 years in a row. Yeah. It definitely means that she's striking a chord with, both the industry and the audience. And, the Critics' Choice Awards are all about celebrating the best in film and television. And they need a host who can, match that level of energy and excitement.
Yeah, for sure. And this year in particular, there's a lot of excitement because the nominee list is very interesting. We've got, for movies, Conclave and Wicked are tied with 11 nominations each, followed by Dune, Part 2 and Amelia Perez each with 10. And then on the TV side, it looks like Shogun is in the lead with 6 nominations.
Wow, Shugan, that's interesting. Yeah. It seems like those historical dramas are really having a moment, right? Tapping into like our desire for maybe like a little escapism, maybe from like the complexities of modern life.
Ooh, yeah. Well, speaking of escapism, maybe I'll need some because it starts at 5:30 a.m. India Standard Time.
Oh, wow.
Though I think the red carpet action starts at 4:30.
All right. Well, if anybody can make a 5:30 a.m. award show entertaining, it's Chelsea Handler. And I mean, everybody from the CEO of the Critics' Choice Awards to, one of the top NBC Universal executives, they've all been, singing her praises, talking about her wit and her energy. And she herself said that, coming back to host feels like coming home.
Oh.
So it should be fun.
Sounds like it'll be a good time. And speaking of feeling at home and coming home and all of that, she also has a memoir coming out.
That's right.
And it's called I'll Have What She's Having.
Okay, I like that title.
And it comes out on her 50th birthday, February 25th, 2025.
Oh, wow. So, the title itself, I'll Have What She's Having, that's very intriguing, right? I mean, it makes me think of that iconic scene from When Harry Met Sally,
Yeah, Meg Ryan.
in the deli. Exactly. That scene that's become so, associated with like female pleasure and empowerment. So it kind of makes you wonder, is she aligning herself with that kind of boldness,
Yeah.
owning her desires and choices, regardless of what, society might dictate.
Yeah, well, and especially when you look at some of the other stuff that you gave me, she's been saying some pretty bold things lately, especially about her choices to not marry and not have children.
Right. Yeah. And it seems like, that's not sitting well with everybody.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. She's calling out those straight men who feel threatened by, women like her who are choosing to kind of step outside those traditional societal norms. She even went so far as to say that she is a threat to men who lack self-confidence because she champions, female empowerment and making those choices outside the norm.
And that kind of goes back to that memoir title, doesn't it? It's almost like she's saying, this is my life, these are my choices, and I'm not apologizing for them.
Right, right. And this memoir is supposed to be just jam-packed with personal anecdotes, everything from like spiking the lemonade at 10 years old to upgrade her family vacation flight.
Oh, wow.
To like, having a very pointed question for Woody Allen over dinner.
Oh, my God.
And there's playing pickleball with a dynasty, and then there's the whole sexting the governor incident.
Okay, she's not holding back.
No, and apparently she's going to be talking about threesomes on national television. So this memoir is shaping up to be quite a wild ride.
It's going to be a wild ride. I have a feeling, beneath all those like outrageous stories and the provocative statements, it sounds like there might be some like, more vulnerable moments as well. They're saying it's hilarious and tender. So, maybe we'll see some of that love for her family, both human and canine, and maybe even a little bit about her journey of, finding peace with herself.
Yeah, it seems like she really is defying that idea that women have to fit neatly into one box. She can be outrageous and insightful and bold and vulnerable.
Right.
And maybe that's what makes her so compelling.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that complexity is definitely, what makes her such a fascinating subject for this deep dive.
Well, before we dive any deeper, I want to just, take a pause for a moment and just ask you, what are your initial impressions of Chelsea Handler? Is she somebody you admire or somebody you find like intriguing or maybe even somebody who kind of rubs you the wrong way? Just think about that for a second, and then we'll come back and continue this conversation.
Okay. It's funny you should mention that about her rubbing people the wrong way because she's definitely kind of stirred up some controversy with some of these recent statements about, marriage and motherhood.
Yeah, especially from that sketch she did on The Daily Show, A Day in the Life of a Childless Woman. And a couple of conservative commentators like Tucker Carlson and Jesse Kelly, they were not fans.
Right, yeah. They seem to think that she was like, putting on this brave face and secretly miserable.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the sketch itself, I mean, it was comedic. Yeah, I mean, it was like playing on all those stereotypes and assumptions about, women who choose not to have kids.
Yeah, and I think, it showed all those like moments of freedom and self-indulgence that, let's face it, a lot of us can relate to, whether we have kids or not.
Yeah, but for some it seemed like it maybe touched a nerve about societal expectations and then the roles of women and how they're evolving.
Absolutely, yeah. It really challenged that like traditional narrative, and I think for some viewers that challenge was perceived as a threat.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that she's been talking about this for years.
Yeah,
about her decision to remain single and child free, and often using her platform to really push back against this idea that these are essential milestones for for a fulfilling life.
Yeah, and her message definitely seems to be resonating with a lot of people, especially women who are, facing these same pressures and expectations. As like she's become like this, accidental spokesperson for, this growing group of people that are redefining, what it means to be a woman, live a fulfilling life, on their own terms.
It's almost like she's holding up this mirror to society and saying, look, this is what it can look like, and it might not be what you're used to, but it's valid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And I think that can be, kind of unsettling for some people, especially those who are, invested in maintaining those traditional norms and structures,
Right. Which kind of brings us back to that memoir title again.
Right. Yeah.
I'll have what she's having. It's almost defiant.
It is, yeah.
It's like I'm happy, I'm fulfilled, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah, it's a powerful statement, and it makes me even more curious to see how she's going to, explore those themes in the book. Like, is it going to be like, a celebration of her choices or more like a deep dive into the challenges she's faced? Or maybe like a little of both.
Yeah, I mean, they're calling it hilarious and tender, so I'm expecting like a full roller coaster.
Yeah, there's going to be plenty of those laugh out loud moments, it's Chelsea Handler.
But I'm kind of interested in those like quieter, more introspective moments too. Like what kind of insights is she going to offer? About her journey of self-discovery, about navigating fame and public scrutiny, about, finding that peace and happiness on her own terms. Those are the things I'm kind of curious about.
Yeah, I mean, and is she just entertaining us, or is there like a deeper message here that she's trying to convey?
Maybe it's both, right? Maybe the entertainment is her way of like opening the door for those bigger conversations, like challenging those norms and sparking dialogue, but, in a way that feels, kind of accessible and engaging.
It's like she's using humor as like a Trojan horse for social commentary.
Yeah, exactly. Like you come for the laughs, but you leave with something to think about.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So speaking of something to think about, let's kind of shift gears a little bit and think about these Critics' Choice Awards as a whole.
Okay.
Because it's not all about her, right? There's all these talented people and these diverse projects being recognized. It's true.
And it's easy to kind of get caught up in the Chelsea Handler whirlwind.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't forget about all this amazing work that's being celebrated at these awards.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the range of nominees this year, it really reflects that like evolving landscape of entertainment,
So
you've got, established stars alongside newcomers.
Right.
And the awards themselves, they encompass film and television, recognizing that, those lines are becoming more and more blurred these days.
And with the streaming platforms playing such a big role now, it's great to see the Critics' Choice Awards, recognizing that and showcasing that excellence across all those forms of storytelling.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's worth mentioning, too, that the Indian film All We Imagine Is Light is nominated for Best Foreign Language Film, which
Yeah.
I think is awesome. It's a testament to, that growing global reach of cinema
Right.
and the power of stories to, transcend those cultural boundaries.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. It's really inspiring to see this diverse range of voices and perspectives being recognized. And with Chelsea at the helm, I mean,
Right.
this ceremony is going to be anything but predictable.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah.
Mm.
She's such a master of, balancing that humor and heart. And I'm sure she'll bring her own, unique brand of energy to the event. Like, I'm already imagining like hilarious opening monologue jokes, but I'm sure there'll be some genuinely like insightful moments as well,
Yeah, it's interesting how she manages to kind of navigate all these different spheres, like the glitz and glamour of the awards shows, and then, the really personal territory of her memoir, and then that often really heated realm of social commentary.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a delicate balance. And
Yeah.
it seems like she's figured out how to make it all work for her.
It is.
Yeah.
It's refreshing to see a woman who is just so unapologetically herself. Even when it ruffles some feathers along the way, she's not afraid to embrace those complexities and those contradictions and, even her flaws.
Right.
And I think that's what really resonates with so many people.
Absolutely. It's that authenticity, the
Yeah.
willingness to, be vulnerable and outspoken.
Yeah.
And that's really refreshing, especially when you think about, a lot of the carefully curated personas that we see, especially in the entertainment industry.
Right, right. So it makes you wonder, is this all like a calculated move? Is this just, how to stand out? Or is this truly who she is, both on and off camera?
That's a good question, yeah. And maybe her memoir will give us some clues. But for now, let's just kind of, take a step back and think about everything we've discussed so far. Like, what really stands out to you about Chelsea Handler's career? And her impact on popular culture. Is she just a skilled entertainer? Or is there something more to her appeal?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like all these different aspects of her career, the comedian, the author, the talk show host.
Right.
I mean, even kind of like an activist
Yeah.
in recent years. So,
Yeah, she's kind of woven all these things together.
Yeah, and it's created this like unique persona that, it can be provocative,
Yeah.
but it definitely resonates, with a lot of people.
It does, and I think her humor has a lot to do with that. It's, it's self-deprecating, but it's also like this sharp wit that allows her to like tackle these sensitive topics and push those boundaries without, completely alienating people.
Right, exactly, yeah. It's like she uses the humor to like disarm people.
Right. Make them laugh and then bam, hit them with some like thought-provoking commentary.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, it's clever and it's clearly working for her.
And then, you can't forget that fearlessness
Right.
when it comes to speaking her mind.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's her personal choices, like not wanting kids, or just, her views on things happening, socially or politically, she just puts it out there.
She does, and I think that's, it's earned her both admiration and criticism, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But, love her or hate her,
Yeah.
you can't deny the impact she's had,
Yeah.
She's really, like, redefined what it means to be, a successful woman in entertainment.
Yeah.
Paving the way for other female comedians and voices to kind of emerge.
Yeah, she's broken down those barriers for
Yeah.
sure. And, it's not just entertainment. She's become like a role model for a lot of people, especially women who just admire her candor and her independence and that refusal to conform.
And she's living proof that you can be, funny and smart and successful and outspoken
Right.
all at the same time.
Yeah, and you don't have to apologize for being yourself, even if it makes some people uncomfortable.
And she does it all with like this unapologetic sense of humor too, which, I don't know, just makes it all the more like powerful.
Yeah.
It's like she's saying, I'm going to live my life on my own terms and I'm going to have a damn good time doing it.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, well, that's your problem.
I think that's what resonates with people, that authenticity and that she's relatable and she doesn't take herself too seriously.
Right.
But then at the same time, she's using that platform to
Yeah.
talk about important issues.
Right.
It's a really neat combination.
It is. Yeah. It makes you wonder if there's like a deeper strategy there.
Right.
Or is this just Chelsea being Chelsea?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure, she is a force to be reckoned with. Comedian, author, provocateur, cultural icon. She's got it all. And I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon.
No. No, I don't think so either. And I'm excited to see what she does next, for sure.
Me too. Me too. Well, I think that about wraps up our deep dive into the world of Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
Hope you have a better understanding of who she is and what she stands for
Right.
and why she continues to just, fascinate and provoke all at the same time.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure exploring all this with you.
Likewise, likewise. And to everyone listening out there, thank you so much for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those minds open.